with buying this car actually came a really cool story. This car wasn't even for sale and I've bought it. I was like, yes! Worst thing about the whole car, yeah, look at the floor, it's just full of fur and all sorts there. It's also low mileage. This is actually different, bit of a sportier model. This video is sponsored by driven247.co.uk for clothing, stickers and more. Hi guys, welcome back to another video back on the Driven 24/7 Automotive YouTube channel, and I can now say that I am the proud owner of two Starlets, and they both happen to be in the same colour, white, or in this case white, green and brown and black. So although I am now the proud owner of two Toyota Starlets, this is actually different to my Starlet number 1, let's call it. So this is first of all a bit newer. This is on the S plate, which makes it 1998. This is actually a Toyota Starlet S. So it is a bit of a sportier model, maybe S stands for that, I don't know. And this is also an automatic. And with buying this car actually came a really cool story. For example, this car wasn't even for sale and I've bought it. So this little Starlet also has a really long MOT till January next year. It's also low mileage, only got 58,000 miles on the clock. No service history of this car unfortunately, but it did come with 2 keys, that's 2. Did come with 2 keys, and we have the original bill of invoice from when the owners bought this car from you. So guys, you quickly join me back at home, and I've got 3 sheets here which are basically from when the car was new, the Starlet. 2 of them are really interesting, so 2 of them are like an invoice of when the car was new. So it's all different kinds of figures on here, but what I'm going to say is that 8595, so £8,595 was paid in full for the Starlet on the 11th of the 8th, so the 11th of August 1998. Another cool thing is that the car had a surf pack put on it. It says surf pack to be fitted, so if anyone knows what that is, do comment in the comments below. Or does it mean the surf pack is a sunroof, because it does say a sunroof to be fitted here, and that was £251 and 6p. So it had a sunroof fitted. Whether that was what the surf pack was or whether the surf pack meant anything else, that'd be really cool. Another cool thing is it actually says that the owners of the Starlet part exchanged a car against the Starlet from you. So they part exchanged, where was it? So they part exchanged a Nissan Micra 1.2 GSX Auto 5-door. It was on an F plate and it had 51,000 miles. They part exchanged a Nissan Micra GSX for this Toyota Starlet. So the owners were a bit like me, going from Nissan to a Toyota. So annoyingly, although the car didn't come with service history, I was well chuffed when the gentleman pulled out an invoice of when the car was new. And yeah, this is really, really cool. Really glad I have this. It's interesting, and I hope you found it interesting too. So I hope you'll bear with me for all the talking at the start of the video. I just want to explain the story with buying this car, because as I said at the start of the video, this car wasn't even for sale, but obviously I've bought it. The car is now in my ownership. So story time now. I've seen this car parked up, and because of the condition of the car currently as well, because this is how I bought the car, I thought the car looked a bit abandoned, looked a bit unloved and unused, to be honest. The car was parked opposite an MOT garage, and I just wondered out of curiosity whether the car belonged to the MOT garage. The car was parked opposite, so I thought one day I'll phone up that MOT garage and just see if they happen to know anything about this car, if they happen to own it. So a couple of days ago I thought, oh, I must do that. So I phoned the MOT garage. A nice gentleman picked up the phone. I said to him, it's a bit random, but do you know anything about the Starlet that's been parked opposite you? Is it yours? He said yes. I said, what's the crack? Do you use the car? Is it MOT'd? He said he doesn't use the car, it is MOT'd. And with that I said, it's a bit random, but is the car for sale? And he said, do you want to come and have a look? And yeah, I guess it's for sale. I asked him if he had a price in mind, but because I caught him on the off chance, he didn't have a price in mind. So with that, we booked an evening to go and see this car after work. So I now can't remember where I was before the seagulls rudely interrupted. I'm going to say, so the guy invited me to come and have a look at the car, and I agreed to come and have a look at the car after work. That felt like the longest day ever at work. I made sure I was busy to make the time fly, and luckily the time flied in my favour. So come to the end of work, and I met up with a guy who was an elderly chap who owned this MOT garage, or I guess he did. And the next thing was, what was he going to want for the car? Was he keeping it thinking it was worth a few grand? Was he going to sell it to me for cheap? What was going to be the price of this car? Could I even afford to buy it after all this? Or was he going to say to me a price? Or was I going to offer him a price and he was going to say, I'll think about it, and he never phones me again? So I wasn't even sure. I wanted to go and pay for this car and take it away that evening, but I wasn't sure if it was even for sale or what the price was even going to be. So that was kind of the exciting bit. So the guy took me around the block in the car, he drove it, it all felt fine. The car is what it is, as I say. It's in really bad kind of exterior condition. When I say bad condition, it's just really dirty inside and out. And as I say, this is how I bought the car. With that, I ended up saying to him, you know, what do you want for the car? He ended up saying a price, and without being too keen, I was like, okay, yep, great. And I was like, yes! So he sold this car to me cheap. If you want to know how much I paid for this car, without me kind of saying, if you go back and watch the video when I revealed to you Starlet number 1, what I paid for Starlet number 1, half that, and that is what I paid for this car. But I can obviously see beyond the dirt. I know this is a better spec Starlet than Starlet number 1. It's lower mileage than Starlet number 1. It's very dirtier than Starlet number 1. We'll call it Starlet number 1 because it's just easier, because now I own 2 of them. As I say, all the talking's done. I just really wanted to explain that really cool story, as I love buying abandoned cars. It's not the first time either, so this car will now get used, loved, and hopefully just improved. So let's take a look around the car. Obviously, let's do a full walk around, and bearing in mind this is how I bought the car. I'll also insert a photo of how I found the car, and we're about to go home after this video and clean her up and see how good she comes up and see what's lurking under the dirt. So a couple of points I wanted to point out before we do a full walk around of the car. This car does have alloy wheels. They're 13-inch alloy wheels. They're 5-spoke with a Toyota centre cap. They look okay condition, but they're quite dirty, so yeah, but we've got alloy, so that's really exciting. Even more exciting is on the rear here we have a spoiler. So it's a TTE, Toyota Team Europe, it says on here. If you didn't know, I recently owned, well I didn't recently, last year I owned a Corolla T-Sport. I think it had the same TTE spoiler, but I can't believe that this car came with a spoiler. It's so cool. Another thing cool about this Starlet is it actually has a sunroof. Obviously it's manually operated, but I opened it the other day and closed it. This probably hasn't been used in a good few years, I would have thought, but yeah, well excited to have a sunroof. I love sunroofs. So I also just want to point out before this walk around that although, as I say, the Starlet doesn't look great at the moment, the MOT history on this car proves it's low mileage, and it also doesn't have any rust anywhere on the car. It's only ever failed on very minor things like gators and stuff, so no rust should be underneath this car, which is a big bonus. So we're on the mobile. Let's start with the bad side and go over to the good side. So first of all, starting from the front, the elderly chap pointed out this greys. Really nothing really to be worried about, and hopefully just touch it up. We have the S badge on each front wing as well, which is pretty cool. There's some dirt just lingering underneath it. We have another greys, which is kind of turned into a bit of rust on the front wing. Here's the 13-inch alloy wheels, really cool design, really like those. Just noticed actually the bottom of that mirror's cracked there a bit. Oh, and I've actually just noticed that as well on the indicator. Nice. Front wing, the bumper and the front passenger side door is looking, well, white to start with. A couple of little marks on the side mouldings. I don't have the pattern on the side mouldings like my Starlet number 1 has. A bit of a mark there, a bit of a graze. And then this is the worst panel and the worst thing about the whole car, to be honest with you. I think this has been repainted. It's a bit dotty and stuff. And obviously this has all gone green. We're going to clean it, like I say, after I film this video. I'm not sure if paint's going to come off, if this green's going to come off, if this black's going to come off, but the whole side is so rough. I've never felt or seen anything like this. And also there's also another graze there, a bit of rust, another graze there on the rear bumper. If the worst comes to the worst, and for example the dirt has stained the paint, I will have to, my dad's going to know this now, I will have to try and see if my dad can maybe paint that rear quarter. Should be easy enough to do if we just mask everything up, and it'd be really nice to do because I just don't see the dirt coming off this car, but we'll see. So onto the rear now, we have the TTE spoiler as discussed earlier. This car also has a rear wiper. Starlet number 1 doesn't, it was de-wipered. Hashtag modified car life and all that. And I don't really know if the wiper's meant to sit like that or whether it's meant to sit downwards. I haven't even tried it, to be honest. We have one original dealer plate there, which has seen better days. So I might try and keep it, but put different plates on, newer plates. We have the Starlet sticker there. There's also, looks like this used to be another sticker. If anyone knows what that would have been, please let me know, but I will obviously peel that off because it doesn't say anything on it anymore. This rear light seems really good, apart from a bit of garden grown in it. The rear bumper looks pretty good, to be honest. I think the rear bumper will come up really well. The rear light's also in good condition. But yeah, the rear isn't too bad. That should clean up quite nicely. Onto the driver's side rear wing. This panel looks like it might actually be the original colour and not badly repainted. A little bit of a rust mark there, but Starlet number 1 has that as well. That might be the best condition alloy wheel we have on the whole car, I think. The body moulding looks better this side as well. And then we have the other front wheel, which is should be silver, just looking a bit brown. We do have a cool little original sticker on the windscreen that side. And we have a roadside assistance Toyota sticker there. I think I'll keep them on there. Onto the front of the car, that oh, it is the original plate. Okay, so you can just see the markings in red. So it has got both front and back original plates. I thought it was just the rear. So we touched on the indicator and the bumper greys at the start of this walk around. Bonnet again, just all like black basically. You can see the stain in there. But apart from that mark over that side of the bumper looks okay. I think the bonnet will come up. The lights look a little bit condensated, or got condensation in there, so I'm not sure. We've got some rusty wiper arms, but we have got some black paint to hopefully just mask them up and paint them black would be nice because they look quite an eyesore. And then the roof, to be honest, is just, again, just all black marks. Hopefully the sunroof doesn't leak. The car doesn't look like it's ever suffered from a leaky sunroof. Onto the interior of the car, and luckily it's a totally complete different story on the inside compared to the exterior. First of all, I only noticed that the other day. Bearing in mind I haven't had this car very long at all. The interior pattern is different to Starlet number 1, which is pretty good. This car also has front electric windows. I think they do work. I really just think they're really stiff, so I'm not really opening them too far. Or first of all, they won't even let me open the windows too far. The switches, I think a bit of WD-40 is needed, or worst case maybe some new regulators. But yeah, all the interior patterning cloth wise is really good. The seats feel firmer in this model compared to my Starlet number 1. Also have a 3-spoke steering wheel on this Starlet. My other Starlet has a different steering wheel, but bear in mind this is a year newer, this one. We still have your boot pull and your fuel cap pull on the inside here. The interior is basically the same as Starlet number 1. So there we have it. This car, as I said at the start, it's the lower mileage Starlet out the two, so it's only got 58,000 miles on the clock. We also have this really cool original kind of warning sticker that's there, which is pretty cool. In the glove box we have lock and wheel nuts in the original kind of Toyota, I don't know, packaging there. Oh, it's a Toyota radio box there as well. That's pretty cool. I didn't realise it had Toyota on it. And then in this car, all the heaters, fan speeds, I'm glad to say actually works in the Starlet number 1. Only it works on full blast, which is quite annoying. Original Toyota radio, which is really cool, and it works. It's got, this is all the same as my other Starlet. Here we have the automatic lever. Not sure if this is 4-speed, 3-speed. I don't really know, but I really like the multi-colours on the lever. It just looks pretty cool, very retro. Passenger side, you have your electric window switch, and they've just totally blanked out the other one just to keep costs down. There it should be, and there it isn't. All the headlining in here looks really good condition, to be honest. Even has an interior light, which Starlet number 1, it just doesn't work at all. It's gone rusty, the connections or something. And then there's the sunroof. You've got the little, I don't know, different settings on the sunroof to open it a little bit further each time. I'm not going to show you too much of the back, to be honest, because it's pretty dirty. There's like dog hair in there, sand. As I say, this is literally how I bought the car, so I think it's pretty cool to film it in its actual state as I said I bought the car. Yeah, look at the floor, it's just full of fur and all sorts there. Yum. Also, which is annoying and a bit of a shame, the vinyl steering wheel is peeling. And also, which I do like, is the steering wheel's thicker than Starlet number 1. And like I said, it's 3-spoke, which is really cool and sporty. Whether I can get a replacement steering wheel for this, because I really like to have nice steering wheels, this just really puts me off the car. I'll have to wait and see what I can maybe get hold of. Onto the boot, and the struts work, thank goodness, because I've had enough of strut problems in my life. This all seems better condition than Starlet number 1 as well, just really clean, but they only just provide this really flimsy, like, I don't know, floor mat thing in there. The strut towers are all in good condition. I haven't been messed with because obviously Starlet number 1 is on coilovers. But yeah, this is really good condition. Partial shell, it's just quite furry, but yeah, what a nice little view that is. So engine bay wise is absolutely grim in here and dirty, but I'll show you nonetheless anyway. Hopefully we can try it. Ugh. Oh, it doesn't look too bad in the light, but it's still as bad. Let's get a close up on this mess. Way dirtier under here than it is on Starlet number 1. Hopefully we can kind of blast this, and also if I lift you guys upwards, look at that nice, what was white, which is now brown bonnet. But yeah, let's look back at this awfulness. Nice. So there we have it then, guys. Hopefully you can see beyond the dirt like I can, but we also don't know what the dirt's hiding on this car, like I said at the start of the video. But basically, first things first for this car is it needs a good clean. Another thing I know the car needs is tracking, because the steering wheel is a bit like that, so that'll definitely be on the card sooner rather than later. Some of you may be wondering if I'm going to keep both the Starlets, so Starlet number 1, which is like my modified Starlet, and then this bog standard Starlet S that I've just bought. The answer to that question is yes. I'm going to try and keep both the cars because I think that's cool. As I said, I've got Starlet number 1, which is going to be like my modified Stancy Starlet. Then I've got this one, which is the better out the two, spec wise, mileage wise, just not looks wise at the moment, but I think it'd be cool to have a modified Starlet and then this bog standard but cooler Starlet. So yeah, to have two of the same cars is really, really cool. When I took this car home, I parked them both together deliberately and got a photo which I'll show you guys here, so they look really, really cool together. And because of what I paid for this car, I consider myself lucky that I bought a car that wasn't even for sale, and lucky that I bought the car for the price I did, because I still think I've definitely got a bargain by all means here. So thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think of this Starlet S that I now own, and I now own two Starlets, so I went from owning no Starlets to really falling in love with them and wanting this one as well. So I now own two of the same cars. I can never say that I've owned two of the same cars before, so that's pretty cool. I'm sorry there's so many birds in the background, but you know, it's quite nice to be out with the nature and wildlife, I suppose, to be ruining my video for once instead of people. But thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think of what I think is a kind of rare, very cute, and yeah, I just know my Starlets, and when I saw this one looking abandoned, unloved on the side of the road, I know I had to do some digging and inquiries and try and make the car mine, and that is what I've done here. So yeah, I'm really pleased to be owning a Starlet S, better spec than my other Starlet and way cheaper than my other Starlet, half the mileage, yeah, better MOT, record history, whatever. I'm well chuffed. Let me know what you think of this car in the comments below. Stick around as you've got plenty more videos to come off this Starlet and my other Starlet that I own, remember. More Starlet S videos to come.